Welcome to A Course in Business Miracles. This is Heather Dominick, creator of BusinessMiracles.com and founder and leader of the highly sensitive entrepreneur movement. Join me today for some genuine practical assistance and a business-altering and life-changing experience, a business miracle. This is A Course in Business Miracles, episode number 10, Abundance. Learn why money is an imperative part of our healing and spiritual journey as highly sensitive entrepreneurs. So the Business Miracles focus for today's training is still abundance. To be clear, for today's training, when talking about abundance, we are talking about overflowing with clients, income, and money as an HSE. This is one of the most difficult areas for HSEs. It's an imperative part of our healing and spiritual journey, and I want you to write that down. We remember, according to Dr. Elaine Aron, our shared purpose as highly sensitives is liberation, freedom. And in our global society, money brings freedom. But in truth, the meaning is much deeper for highly sensitive entrepreneurs. And I want you to write this down as well. Abundance as freedom is 1. Belief in your HSE strengths. 2. Belief in your value. 3. Belief in your worth. And 4. Belief in yourself. This is exactly why I created the Business Miracles Money Mindset training and why you receive this training automatically when you join the 6-month group coaching program. It's a 5-part training, all based on my own experience, the steps I took as an HSE to heal my relationship with money. And I know there are a lot of coaches teaching about money and abundance these days. And I also know that a lot don't have the personal experience of healing and true transformation. And I'm not saying that you can't learn from these teachings, but it is a whole different story when you're learning from a person who has had the personal experience. So let me just give you a quick snapshot of my personal experience, my journey of healing my relationship with money. So first of all, my mother died when I was 14, and I've worked every day since. No one has ever paid my way for anything, ever. Not my first car, not for college, not for graduate school, not for my wedding, not for business training or any part of growing my business, none of it. My father hasn't paid my way. My husband hasn't paid my way, ever. My first teaching job was at the second highest paying school district in New York State. My salary was $60,000, and that was in 1996. I had no money, and I had no idea why. My second teaching job, I had to declare bankruptcy 9 months after starting that position. I had already taken a 50% pay cut. And then 9/11 hit my first week at that teaching job, and my city shut down, taking with it the extra after-school program income that I had planned on. And I brought all of this into my business with me. I can remember my first year in business. I was processing client credit card payments. I had built up a nice, intimate practice, and at that time, I processed my clients' credit card monthly payments all by myself. And I was manually processing them. I was sitting in front of the computer, and I suddenly realized that I was absolutely terrified. My emotional and energetic experience was full terror. I was sweating. My heart was racing. I had all of these thoughts going through my mind. I was thinking things like, oh my God, what if I mess up? I can't believe these people have trusted me with this information. What am I doing, charging people for this work? I can't do this. And suddenly I just stopped. I took a deep breath and I thought, Heather, what is going on here? Something is really off. There must be another way. And right then, I made the commitment that I was going to figure out what was going on with my relationship with money. And that's when my healing journey with money began. 3 years after that moment of sitting there processing those credit card payments manually, I generated $250,000 in my business. 2 years after that, I crossed the $500,000 mark. And 2 years after that, I crossed the $1 million mark. Fabulous, fantastic, transformation for sure. And still, there was more for me to learn. And that's where understanding that I'm a highly sensitive entrepreneur came in. Believing that I have the right to generate income in a way that is aligned with the authentic me. Lynn Twist, author of The Soul of Money and one of the resources in the Business Miracles Money Mindset training, states that so many spiritual teachings on abundance are actually about lack and scarcity because the focus is on not having enough and I need more. And I can't change until I have that more. And I can't take action until fill in the blank, fill in the blank, fill in the blank. And I have found this is true for so many highly sensitive entrepreneurs. And it breaks my heart. It is really, really difficult for me to watch. For HSEs, abundance is an act of courage. And I want you to write that down. You must be willing to take that next step without having it all worked out or all perfect. One of my Eminence members calls this pre-avoidance. Trying to pre-avoid anything going wrong in any way whatsoever. Trying to anticipate absolutely everything that's going to happen so that it can be taken care of before it could ever happen. I refer to this as one of the HSE overs, particularly overprotection. Going above and beyond to protect yourself from being vulnerable, being found out, being hurt. Whether you call it pre-avoidance, overprotection, or something else, it does not serve. So again, for an HSE, abundance is an act of courage. It's also an art and science, and it's also spiritual and practical. And that's why in the 6-month group coaching program, I teach you how to manage your energy so that whatever happens in your business and your life, you're able to respond from accessing your HSE strengths rather than reacting from your HSE shadows. And how to effectively market in a way that plays to your HSE strengths, and particularly your HSE strengths of creativity and being a visionary. And then I teach you how to have a selling conversation that, as my Eminence member Wendy Yellen describes, as a spiritual experience. And her clients tell her this too. And Wendy has generated in the mid-6 figures as an eidetic expert since she started mentoring with me 4 years ago. So not only is the work that she does something quote-unquote unheard of, deeply powerful, deeply transformational, but literally people often don't even know what eidetics means. And still, since mentoring together, since mentoring with me, she has generated mid-6 figures. as an eidetic expert. See, abundance for HSEs is a core practice. It must be given consistent attention, energy, and focus. And I want you to write that down. And the consistent attention, energy, and focus to be given in a safe container, in a trusted community. It's sort of like going to the gym or yoga class, right? You can't go to the gym for 21 days and then be like, this is great. I've done it. I've reached my ultimate strength and ultimate health. I'm done. Or, that's good, now I'm just going to go off and I'm going to do it on my own. It's very different than when you go to the gym, and particularly when you're working with a trainer, with a mentor, who can tell you what to adjust and in what way, and to hold you accountable so that tweak by tweak, you are consistently honing and strengthening these new muscles. And your abundance muscles are exactly the same. So when you don't give abundance the respect it deserves as a core practice, when you don't give consistent attention, energy, and focus, and in a safe container within a trusted community, when you try to do it by yourself or without a mentor who has done it and continues to do it as I do, then you rubber band back to old ways. Because it takes consistency to change core beliefs, thoughts, and patterns. And I want you to write that down. And then I can hear you saying, as so many people have said and asked me before, but Heather, there's so many people out there making a lot of money without being spiritual. And my answer is, sure. Because it's not their life lesson. It's not part of their spiritual journey. They're here to learn something else. So why is it our collective learning as HSEs? Well, again, it's about value. And yes, it's about worth. But even more so, it's about mastering fear. So what my experience has shown me is that HSEs are terrified of abundance. Terrified that if you make money, and especially a lot of money, and especially doing what you love, something will be expected of you. You'll be expected to deliver. You'll be expected to be seen. And people will want something. And what if it's something that you don't want to give? What if then you have to be in conversation? And what if that conversation is conflictual? And what if you have to set boundaries? And what if you have to say no where typically you've said yes? And what if you have to say yes where you've typically said no? Or terrified that things will get out of control. You won't be able to make sure that everything is managed and perfect. You'll get overwhelmed, and then you'll have to push and hide and push and hide and push, or hide. And you know what the irony is? Is that you choose pushing and hiding anyway. By not stepping into abundance, you stay the scullery maid. You stay the entitled queen. And the reason why is because then you can say, at least I know what this is like. I know what it's like to be the scullery maid, so I'll just do that. I know what it's like to be the entitled queen, so I'll just do that. According to A Course in Miracles, the ego mind is insidious at best and vicious at worst. Any sign of change or advancement, and the ego mind comes up with unreasonable reasons of why you can't. And so, instead, you choose a comfortable river of misery just running through the background of your life. It's not enough to make you want to change. It's just enough to keep you miserable and wondering why things are the way that they are. But at least you know what to expect, right? You can stay with the same old inner tapes, the inner tapes that sound like, oh, I have to work so hard, and I have to work so hard for nothing. Or, I deserve better. Why isn't it happening for me? Or, I can't. I just can't do it because I just can't join the 6-month group coaching program because, or my favorite, oh, you just don't understand. You just don't understand. You don't understand my situation. You don't understand where I'm from. You don't understand my family. You don't know what it's like to be this race. You don't understand what it's like to be from this part of the world. You don't understand what it's like to be a woman. You don't understand what it's like to be a man. You don't understand what it's like to be a Virgo. You don't understand what it's like to be born in December. You don't understand. You don't understand. And we can go on and on and on. And the ego mind just rages. Take a deep breath in. It amazes me. I watch HSEs defend their misery, their stuckness, their stagnation, their lack, their scarcity. And in truth, it takes one next step. And I want you to write that down. One next step. Not about having it all figured out. Not about having it completely perfect. One next step. When I joined the coaching program that really made a difference for me, that I was really in alignment with, I had enough for the first month's payment, and I didn't know where the rest was coming from. And I didn't step in with just this lackadaisical, oh, well, the universe will provide, I'll just pray. No, I stepped in as a commitment to the universe, as a commitment to myself, that I was ready for another way. I must, I told myself, have a different life. I'm not willing to live like this anymore. And then you might say to me, but Heather, I have invested and it hasn't worked. I get that. Me too. That's why I've gifted you to experience the way of business miracles, to experience trust of me and my team. Recently, there was a post on Facebook from someone who had just registered for the 6-month group coaching program. And part of what she shared is she said, I trust you, Heather, and I trust your team. And I literally practically burst into tears when I read that and just felt so grateful. And as I wrote back to her, thank you so much, because please know I don't take that lightly. So if what you've received so far has resonated with you, if you have even experienced one miracle, one shift in perception so far during our journey together, and I know there have been many from what I've seen shared on the Facebook forum. So if you have, then the 6-month group coaching program is your next step. That's it. The next step. You and I have been brought together on purpose. You're still here, and that's not an accident. I have my hand extended out to you, ready to show you the way, to true, authentic abundance as an HSE. Do you trust me? Do you trust you? It's up to you. Take the next step. So many community members and clients in the Business Miracle community who have experienced such incredible shifts, no longer chained, imprisoned by their HSE shadow, but living with so much more freedom, so much more peace, and as a result, so many more clients, so much more income, so much more abundance. It seriously is to my core joy that's brought to me as I witness this every single day. But a good handful of the community members had just enough for the next step when they stepped into the 6-month group coaching program. And they've stayed with it step by step. And each step has brought them to a new reality, a new story, a new experience of abundance. But they needed to take that first step. I give you my heartfelt promise, if other programs have not worked for you, this one will. You will not fail here. It is the full intention and primary focus of myself and all of the Business Miracle team members to hold you accountable and ensure that you don't. You will change, but you will not fail. There is no other business coaching program that is designed for the highly sensitive entrepreneur. And this is how true abundance, long-lasting, sustainable abundance, and I want you to write that down. This is how true abundance, long-lasting, sustainable abundance is created. You earn it, one step at a time. According to A Course in Miracles, advancement does not come without cost. And this is true. This is about you, your business, your bank account, but it's also about all of us. It's our time. Change doesn't happen by staying the same. One next step. Your Business Miracle assignment. Give yourself an honest assessment. Do you desire true transformation? Write these questions down. Do you desire true transformation? Do you desire to be abundant in your business and live your life from your HSE strengths? Do you trust me? Do you trust yourself? Take the next step. See all of the information about how we're going to do this together and what our 6-month path will be at www.acourseinbusinessmiracles6months.com. And just a recap before we wrap. Abundance is a major area of healing for HSEs. You have the opportunity to learn from a mentor who is highly sensitive and who has earned the healing of her relationship with money. Abundance is an act of courage. It's imperative to learn how to market and sell as an HSE. And all it takes is one next step. Awesome. Other than that, leaving you with many blessings for the rest of the day until tomorrow and our next Business Miracles connection. Have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye.
Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Course in Business Miracles. If you're ready to learn how to use your highly sensitive abilities to support you in being purposeful, profitable, and empowered rather than scattered, poor, and undervalued, take my free self-quiz to find out if you are indeed a highly sensitive entrepreneur. And if you are, along with your quiz results, you'll receive my free HSE Success Guide, which will teach you how to have your highly sensitive abilities working for you to create the results you desire in your business. Take the quiz and receive your free success guide now at www.hsequiz.com.